TW's account. Then I'm on my own. Then I'm trying to send this to 1 million people at once. Then Gigi goes, join me on the live stream. I'm like, my computer probably can't even do that. I have a freaking Asus VivoBook. I don't even know what make from 2000, and I don't even know what the year. And I don't even know. But no, I'm very, very excited for this space today. If I figure out how to do the live stream thing, I will join the next live stream. Let me accept the co-host invite. So yeah, I'm all over the place, Gigi. How are you?
I'm good. I was telling the guys here how I was, obviously 20 minutes before the show, I'm trying to do a new recipe for my zucchini fries, and I completely messed them up. Like, I put the egg with the breadcrumbs, and then I'm like, it's fixable. I'm a builder, so we like to fix things. I'm like, this can still be fixed. I'm still going to use it. They come out. I show it to the guys, and NFT God is like, oh, are those cookies? Are those like chocolate chip cookies? So, yeah.
In other words, you burnt your zucchini fries.
I'll post some pics for the people to see, but I want to see some GMs. Let us know on the chat. How are you doing? NFT God, I saw you were about to slander my zucchini. I just saw it.
I was about to say I had zero idea that was zucchini. It looked nothing like any zucchini I've ever seen in my life. I thought they were legitimately chocolate chip cookies.
Which could be a great thing. Maybe I'm innovative. Maybe I'm doing some innovation on zucchini fries.
It's actually not a bad idea. If you got kids and you cook your zucchini fries to make them look like chocolate chip cookies, that might be an interesting way to trick them to eat healthy.
We just came up with a really good idea. So everyone who has kids, go ahead and make them some zucchini fries.
That's legit $1 billion business idea that anyone in this room can take. Make an entire line of healthy food that looks like unhealthy food for kids. And you'll get all these kids eating healthy food because they think it's cookies.
I'm so sorry to tell you that has already been done.
God
a
damn
lot
it.
of moms do this on Instagram all the time. They trick their poor little children.
I stand corrected. Never mind then. Bad idea.
I saw Fanso nodding really hard. Fanso, did you resonate with this?
So I am myself as a selective eater, not picky selective.
Fonzo, crazy echo. Crazy insane echo.
Echo.
Like a dance party. You gotta go on mute with Hitchman. Whatever you do, the first thing you need to do is go on mute. There we go.
Sorry, I had to mute that. I couldn't listen to it anymore. I
know actually what's going on. Fanso, you need to mute us on the stream.
He's muted.
That's what's happening.
No, he's muted on the stream. So there's a loop
computer.
somewhere.
We're all on mute on the stream, so he can't be hearing us on the stream.
I like that beat though. I was vibing for sure. I was like, do. That's good.
Are we good now? Are we good?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that. So I'm a selective eater, and as a dad of 3 girls, all 3 of my girls eat way more healthy than I do. The reason most fruits and vegetables live in my house is because my daughters go grocery shopping with me. So even just the idea of zucchini, I don't like anything that has the word berry in it, and pretty much almost all vegetables. So I when I hear the idea of I was a kid that my mom would try to trick me to eat healthy foods, and I was such a stubborn ass that I realize now that my mom would be like, you have to sit at the table until bedtime, and we're going to turn out the lights, and my stubborn ass would sit there, and I would be the kid that sat at the table, lights would be out, the whole family would be in the other room, and I'd be like, no, I'm not taking 3 bites of that eggplant parmesan. And so thankfully, I am a dad of girls that are the other way, where they tease me more than that. So I even if they did look like cookies, I probably wouldn't have eaten them. I was that stubborn kid. So that's what was resonating to me.
Well, I just want to say, I don't think they look like cookies, but they definitely look very interesting. I'm still gonna eat them. I'm gonna post a picture. I want you guys to be the judge of my zucchini. I'm not proud of them at all. But if you guys follow me on Instagram, I like to test things out. I think Fansel, you responded to my Southern chicken sandwich, and you were like, wow, that looks really good.
It looked really good. It looked really good. I mean, you do a pretty good job of like savory photos, and then you're like, hey, get your sorry asses to the gym and work out like me. So like on Instagram, you get like a combination with Follow and Gigi. It's definitely a good follow because I need both of those inspiration, right? Good food that like makes my mouth water, and then I'm like, oh yeah, shit, I need to get to the gym.
I was trying to make Chick-fil-A chicken, and I added too much baking soda. So it looked amazing, but when you bit it, it was just like straight baking soda. I ate half because I didn't want it to accept that I was wrong. But yeah, I was like, I'm pretty sure this is not good. Anyway, enough about that. Visionary, I'm going to kick it up to you to get the space started. I want to know if you are using any AI tools. So please drop it in the chat. What's your favorite AI tool right now? We're going to go through a lot of AI tools. Today I did a call with Visionary, and I said our goal today is to give them tools they can use by the end of the goal. Like, we want to transform what you're doing in terms of workflows, and not only for you to know, but actually get to use, which I think is a big problem we have right now. It's like too much information, but no way to actually apply it. So Visionary, I'm going to kick it up to you. I want to see some GMs. I want to see some retweets, and that's it.
Yeah, I just posted that question of the day. So please go ahead and respond. I'm pretty sure that, with the thousands and thousands of AI tools that are out there, not everyone's going to say ChatGPT. Maybe you all will. I hope you don't. But that's what this space is about. So, first, before we actually start with the questions, please make sure that you are retweeting the room, that you're liking, that you're bookmarking. You can always unretweet after, but let's get this out to the masses. We obviously have some incredible speakers today, and I'm excited. So let's start with the first question. I'm gonna throw this over to NFT God. How have AI tools impacted content creation, and what potential do you see for AI in the future?
Yeah, I use AI basically for everything but the finished product of the content, right? Like, I don't believe going in and saying, ChatGPT, please write me a tweet, ever produces anything of quality ever. But I've been able to do a lot of really cool things like outside of that. So for instance, like, I'm a big fan, a big believer that the best content in the world addresses your readers' challenges, addresses their fears, and addresses their dreams. So challenges, fears, dreams. And so a lot of what I do with AI is I'll go in and I'll be like, this is my audience. This is what they're interested in. Give me a list of 20 of their dreams, 20 of their challenges, 20 of their fears. And then ChatGPT will spit out like a long list of that. And then I'll go into Notion and draft up content for each one of those. Like, that'll be my challenge, is to draft up content for like all 60 of those things and spat out. And then from there, I'm able to turn that into many different pieces of content. So there's a lot of things I do. I have a lot of other things I do as well, and I'm happy to go into on this space as well. But that's one of the biggest things I do, is just using AI to help me brainstorm what my audience cares about, so that I can then, in my voice, create content that's relevant to them. Because I've just found that when you use AI, it never really quite creates anything in your voice. And I think the most important part of content is authenticity and using your own authentic voice. So I'm using AI for a lot of things. The last thing I'm using it for is actually like spitting out the content itself.
Right. And that's one thing that Gigi and I were talking about earlier today, is like, how do you maintain that authenticity while using AI not to create work for you, but to enhance your day-to-day and to save some time, right? Because at the end of the day, I think what's happening in the world is that a lot of people are looking at AI as something that is going to replace as opposed to enhance. So that is something that I really want to go into in today's conversation a little bit later. But the importance of staying authentic and using these tools in a way that can make your day-to-day work better, as opposed to replace things. But yeah, I think we'll definitely a little bit later go into prompt writing, because I know you're a king at using these things in a way that really gets the max output from it and does it in a really clever way. So we'll definitely go into that a little bit later.
I do want to know, Fanso or Chris, do you want to add anything in there before we keep moving on from that?
Yeah, I'll jump in. So, I mean, I think, a lot of the points were made, I think with that were, it's not talking with you. I will say right now where, I heard a really good line from the Stanford professor. I was speaking at the marketing AI event last week in Cleveland, and the AI professor said, just remember that the AI tools are better tomorrow than they were today. And that's going to be the case for every single day. And so anyone that's used ChatGPT in the last week, we can now actually save our prompts, connecting it to the AI PRM. And I will tell you, to me, that's the start of it starting to better understand us, right? I've been using Midjourney for, over a year now, selling my art as AI art. And one of the frustrations with Midjourney is that it's not learning from me. I have to learn how to program the Midjourney to create art that is my theme, my brand. And to me, that's the greatest compliment as an AI artist is when someone sees art in their feed, they don't even have to look. They know that that's my art. But I will tell you, that takes a lot of prompt poetry, right? I have to really manipulate the prompting. And I think we're moving towards a space where that's going to be less of the case. But I couldn't agree more with what NFT God said as far as, output, right? I think this is where we're moving, and AI has been there for a long time. I think even Chris and I on Clubhouse rooms a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, whenever the hell Clubhouse was there, we thought a lot about AI tools, and I've been fully using Jasper, Descript. I'm a big Grammarly person. I'm a Grammarly. I my Twitter, my social.
We're not going to
I know. I'm not saying the tools. I'm giving the context. I got you. But the piece of this that I think is so exciting is that eventually we're going to be able to customize the AI to not where it thinks like us or replaces like us, but it actually, we increase our productivity of how we're using AI. Right now, I mean, the truth is, anyone that's used AI at any kind of level, yes, we can say it's saving us time, but are we including the time it takes us to learn the new prompt, learn the new UI, update the new setting? And my rule of thumb lately has been don't buy any year subscription to any AI tool for the rest of your life. If you were buying a year subscription, that means you can predict the future. Because I don't know, I have no idea if ChatGPT is going to be relative for me in a year. And so I think for me, the cool thing that we can think about, the kind of pyramids on this, is working with it, not trying to talk at it, or not trying to have it replace something that you do. And so I think there's lots of great, ways that we can kind of take that in different realms. But I thought it was a really interesting, when a Stanford professor was we just have to remember, each day AI is getting better. It's unlike a lot of other tools that we install or we start using, and even Midjourney, for those that don't know, generative AI versus non-generative AI, Midjourney does not know me any better today than it did whenever I started prompting Midjourney a year and a half ago. But if I'm able to start using ChatGPT in a private, learning language model setting where it's going to be building its narrative directly off of my input, now we're going to start doing some really cool things. So that's where I'm most excited, where this generative AI eventually goes, because it will be a little bit better in that realm.
Yeah, I totally agree. And honestly, going into our next question, which you kind of touch on, but again, we're not going into the tools. We want to give the sauce soon. I want to see some retweets before we start giving tools out. But what are some specific examples of AI-powered content creation tools that have changed the way we work, right? As an example, I'll give myself is automation. Automation is something that I continually talk about, how I want to create a framework on actually using it more. And before, you would just have to go and do it before you want to post, right? You're just posting on the fly. Automation can help you, one, understand the times where your audience is the most active or engages the most. And then second, you don't have to be a slave to posting, where you can do it, whenever you want to. But if you have pieces of information you already know you want to talk about, you can just schedule them out. So I think that's one tool that changed the way we worked, especially the ones that give you recommendations sometimes of when to post. I'm gonna kick it over to Alex, who seems like I don't know if you guys are on this stream, but he's thinking. He's thinking hard, and he does this face when he's thinking. It's funny to watch.
So I'm very bad with controlling what my face looks like on cameras and feeds. Like it just kind of has a mind of its. Anyway, automation. I don't use, to be quite honest with you, AI for automation too much. I automate my analysis to a point. So my absolute favorite way to use AI when it comes to content is, this is a little bit of a hack. You can export all your tweets through Twitter Analytics, right? And it exports like a spreadsheet of like up to 30 days worth of tweets. I actually have a spreadsheet that has all my tweets that I manually put together. But for the people who haven't done anything like that, you can export it through the analytics screen. And then you can actually use ChatGPT's code analysis to upload the CSV and then ask questions based on the tweets you have in the spreadsheet, which has led to some amazing results. For anyone who follows me, I talk about a lot of different things. I don't just talk about NFTs. I cover a wide array of topics, and you can do interesting things with the code interpreter where it's like, tell me the top 5 categories of content people engage with or like. Tell me the top categories of content that people reply to the most or retweet the most. Based on what you see in this spreadsheet, give me 5 topics I should be talking about tomorrow, something like that. And so it's more automating my analysis of my content. I think if you're going to be a serious content creator, you have to be reviewing your content often. I've been doing it for years. I manually put all my tweets into a spreadsheet in Google Sheets and analyze it. But I use AI to automate that with the new code interpreter, which is like a really sick tool. And I know Gigi told us not to name drop tools, but I'm going to have to do it anyway to be specific. So, but yeah, that's the code interpreter allows you to automate a lot of like the analysis work, which is really amazing.
For anyone who's looking at I'm just dying because on the private chat, there's like, we're going to do a little contest. Chris is scheming. And then for a hashtag, he's like, Gigi burns zucchini. It's like, I can't even, I just feel attacked, man. But NFT God, that's some real alpha. I did not know you can export through analytics. So we're going to have to touch on that a little bit more. So how about you?
Yeah, I think the analytics piece is so key, right? And I think anyone that's in this game right now, it's less about understanding what the algorithm is doing and more about understanding what your audience is doing and what your audience is working, like what's worked for you in the past, what's working for you today. And I also think that goes into, a realm of, some of these other tools where like, I don't think automation's bad. I think those of us that program automation usually do it in a bad way. Right, like everyone's seen really bad written emails that we know were not personalized. Like we're not dumb. Like I think that's one of the things we have to remember in 2023. The consumer is no longer dumb, right? The consumer knows their shit in 2023, and we have to kind of recognize that. But that doesn't mean that we can't use automation to do some cool things, right? And I think, it goes from analytics, it goes from the idea of like, how do I, like for me, one of the big things, I did a podcast every single day. And like looking back, there are places where automation would have saved me, but I didn't spend the time up front to program the automation into my workflow. And so instead I had this like backwards ass transcript solution that I had created to put, captions on my videos and doing a podcast every day. And if I would have just paused, realize where some of that analytics and even some of the things that have come out since, right? Like Code Interpreter is a great one. There's a couple other tools now that you can plug in directly your RSS, and like this feed right now, I know is going like we're streaming to my YouTube and to my Twitter, and we're on a Twitter Space. There are 4 tools right now that are pulling this right now live into different tools that are AI generated tools, and like to me, like that's the key to this is like, I love that we can do it with like all of our tweets. Like, what about if you did even extended of that? Like, what if you wanted to get your entire brand voice? There's a couple tools now where you can plug in your website, plug in your LinkedIn account, plug in your Twitter account, plug in your Instagram account, and it will tell you sentiment analysis. It'll tell you what is your brand voice when you think, we all think we have a brand voice. We all think we have a brand reputation, but what is that actual reputation based on all of the content you've fed? Like that to me is some really cool data that could really help us maximize, the human aspect of how we're marketing. I know, Chris, you have some things too.
Yo, my bad. I'm just when I'm on these streams, like I'm always just goofing around in the background so much, and like it's hard. Sometimes I'm not even present during the conversations, but I am actually present on this one. And so I wanted to, speaking of the old days in Clubhouse and all that, I know one of the things that I had done was automate DMs on Instagram, and yeah, right. I watched the monkeys and faded them on Clubhouse. What a doof. But one of the tools back then was like, hey, like you would hear this all the time. If you're interested in blah, 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 DM me the word whatever on Instagram, and then it would take automation from there. And so like that was like rinse and repeat, like used up. All the marketers were just going ham with that. But that wasn't AI. That was just if and or like if this then that statements. And so we could automate a lot of that stuff. But something I have been using with AI, it's not automated. But it's just kind of the same tool that I used to use back then. I should say tactic is I would have back in the Clubhouse days, my little automated robot would respond with something, and then I would hop into the DMs that my robot started, and I'd say, sorry about that. My robot just attacked you, and like this is real me now. It was the best icebreaker because they would get this automated response. It was cold, it wasn't in my tone. And people would be like, what's this? And then I'd hop in and we'd both laugh about my robot attacking them. Right. So now I do that with ChatGPT. And so I'll get this like weird, cold, scripted, like very AI voice, very AI tone response. And I'll hit different companies with it cold, like cold pitch DMs and stuff like that. And then I'll immediately follow up with, my bad. I just had to send you something from ChatGPT. That sounded super weird. This is actually me. It's just an icebreaker. It's just me using that. And I am pitching them for sure, but I'm also showing up with my own tone after the fact. So just kind of a little switcheroo there. So
something funny. So I have something funny on that right now on Twitter. So, I've been on Twitter since 2009. Been using this account for a long while. In 2014, to your point, Chris, there was a third-party tool that would allow us to auto-create a reply to someone's DM, but it wouldn't type it. I would type it out as if I was typing it. And I remember I connected this tool to Twitter back in 2015, and it was cool. Like but then I was like, and this tool's kind of funky. And I remember I disabled it in the UI. And then there came out when Twitter blocked the entire API and the whole fire hose was turned off. Funny enough, to this day, anyone that's listening to this, if you send me a DM right now on Twitter, it'll reply instantly with, I talk fast and tweet faster. And I've opened 5 tickets with Twitter. I've had the Twitter data team on, and they're like, we can't turn it off.
Oh,
like
shit.
It is embedded in, I see people are DMing me right now. It's embedded. And like the funny part is the algorithm, the automation is so programmed that if you haven't DM'd me like in a month, it does it again. So like I know Gigi was like laughing because like Gigi will message me and then like a month later a message and people were like, shit, you do tweet faster. And like the only saving grace is that it's like a cool message. Like I'm not spamming anybody. It's no like stupid call to action. It's just like something that I was like, everyone knew me back then that I talked fast and tweeted faster. And like, so if it's programmed into my Twitter, Twitter can't disable it. I can't disable it. But to your point, Chris, it's like that's always existed. Now AI allows us to go at a whole nother level. And I like the icebreaker there using kind of ChatGPT to kind of unlock a conversation. That's super clever.
And so I was like, what the hell? Like, I don't know if Visionary, if you also messaged him, but it's like, I tweet faster. I was like, what the hell is this? And I'm like, okay, bro, like you're still not answering to my message. Like, what the hell is happening?
I know. It kind of makes, I'm sure people are like, dude, he talks fast, tweets faster, replies once, and then takes 3 days to reply. Like, what kind of douche is he? So like, just so everybody knows and be very clear, it's a product of automation that was set up in 2015, and it's literally been in my DMs ever since, and I can't disable it.
Oh my God, we have some hands. Also, if you have a question, feel free to raise your hand. We want to encourage conversation. If you do want to ask a question and you're not yet on stage, also raise your hand and we'll bring you up. But I want to send it over to our favorite Superman lawyer. Washta. What's up, Washta?
Hang on. The phones are gonna go in 3, 2, 1.
Yes.
I'll try to keep the phone calls to a minimum. That wasn't me. Mine sounds much more annoying. Chris, that is a good icebreaker. I actually use that same icebreaker at bars. I use chat GPT pickup lines, and then I come in with my own like suave line. It works really well. But
Can you
NFT got
demonstrate that live on the space for us, real quick?
Yes.
I cannot vision. I can't share my secrets. That is token gated. You can actually buy the Watch the Coin, get access to my Discord and the Riz channel. But it is expensive and it's a monthly fee. But I was going to say with the NFT God, and some of the people have touched on it, we talked about this before, of just like using the AI tools, like people are all scared it's going to replace people, but you have to have that human touch to it. And there's like a lawyerish story to it where I'll use it sometimes to write like inter-office memos or quick briefs or something where I already know the answer, but I just really don't feel like spending an hour like typing it up and putting it in paragraph form and all this. So I know enough about the legalese of it to write a prompt that will just spit it out for me quick. Then I read through it, edit it, and like get it off to somebody to file or send to some other opposing counsel. There was an attorney, I think in New York, that did a similar version, but he decided to just use ChatGPT and not check it for any of the law or anything like that. And ChatGPT did the cool thing and just made up law and put it in his brief that he filed with the court. And he got in, as you can imagine, a shit ton of trouble for just literally filing a brief he didn't write or read that had fake made up law in it. And he went into open court and he said, oh, I just used ChatGPT. I thought this was accurate, and got ripped apart and was in every like law journal about what an idiot and blah, blah, blah. So, you know, you can use these tools as tools, but don't let it replace common sense, I guess is the takeaway. Is yeah, you look fucking stupid if you run into somebody that actually knows what you're talking about. But on Twitter, you can get away with it and write all kinds of threads because nobody reads or site checks anything. So all power to you.
True story.
I've actually seen that too, where it like makes up scenarios. So ChatGPT and Bard, for anyone out there using Google Bard, if they don't know, they'll create like filler scenarios that are not real. Let's send that over to Easton before we keep going with the tools. I also want to know, like, are you using AI right now for your content creation? I'm actually surprised no one has said will never, because I do know a lot of people don't like ChatGPT or like using anything that's automation at all. And I was dying with this comment that says, can't say what is their favorite tool. It says, can't say. Last time I talked about using AI on Twitter, I ended up in a meeting with my college to talk about how it's not allowed. That's actually so hilarious, but I'm going to send it over to Visionary.
To me, okay. I mean,
sorry to Easton, but go ahead, Visionary.
No, I'll just say something on that real quick. No, ChatGPT has actually created some random historical like dates and events. I'm like, what the hell is happening here? But definitely want to hear a little bit more about whether people use this for content creation, because that's the thing, right? You can totally tell when a thread has been written by ChatGPT. It's so obvious because the wording is just so hilarious. Like it's like loser wording for real. It's way too formal.
Loser wording.
You know, it gives you huge words that you just wouldn't use in a normal thread, and it sounds hilarious. So what, like these days, you can really tell who's being authentic in their content versus who is creating, you know, something off ChatGPT in 2 minutes, right? So it's always really interesting to see, especially now with monetization on X. It's like everyone's just pushing out content every single day because they want to get paid. But if it's not authentic and genuine and produced from a place where you actually enjoy doing this, so it's not going to work out for you long term, man. It just won't. You're going to start hating what you're doing. But let's go to Easton. What's up, Easton?
What up? Loving the conversation. I actually saw a video, let's say on Twitter, up into the top, where this piece of content, it's a short form video. It was 100% generated by AI, and you can't really tell that it wasn't. And I was just wondering, for like anyone, like what do people think when like short form content will be able to be produced from AI, and if that will take away from any of the human creators, especially if they are able to learn like at a faster pace.
Ooh, I got a hot take on this one. I specifically think that when you look at the tools that people are using, like I've seen one, my buddy actually developed one that's super crazy. You write a sentence, it will show you visuals to put like an illustration to your sentence that you wrote, and then it will even take your pre-recorded voice, like because it can replicate your voice, and you do story time where it will read out that story that you just wrote a sentence on in your voice while it shows with visuals. And it does all of that for short form posts where you've done nothing besides write a sentence, and it lets you like fine tune and do all this crazy stuff. It was pretty mind blowing. Having said that, I'm going to make a better video than that guy, no matter what. I'm better at making videos. I will make a better hook. I will make a better, more valuable centerpiece. And then I'll give you a kick-ass call to action that gets you to do what I want you to do. And that little prompt is not going to keep up with that for a long time. And when it does, cool, then you can replace me as needed. For right now, I beat the pants off of any sort of AI, write a sentence and then make some content. Having said that, I definitely believe in saving on my workload and doing things that can amplify me. But I think a lot of people are always in this mindset of like, oh, AI is going to replace me. And I'm like, well, it can't replace you until it's better than you. And right now it's not better than me. So it ain't going to replace me, but I can use it to amplify me. And that's kind of where my mindset is with all this stuff.
I love that. And of course, you're going to be depends off AI. Like AI actually do not wear pants. I don't know if you're dealing with a different type of AI.
No pants.
Tropic, I'm going to call on you because I know you have a question. Do you want to go ahead and ask it before we keep it moving?
Cool, yeah. Hey, everybody. On the stage with some giants up here, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, the question that I do have, for those of you that have been really cranking out content and what have you, what do you think the highest barrier for entry is when it comes to the AI production? Because we know we've covered all the different things, ChatGPT, audio and everything. But with so much content going to be able to be produced, like Chris said, staying ahead of it and just being absolutely awesome is, how we do that. So what would you think is the highest barrier that cannot be replicated at this point for AI? Sorry about that, choking on my oatmeal.
I don't know if that's for me. I'll keep talking though, but somebody else go. Fanzo.
Yeah, I'll throw in. I mean, I think, and this kind of goes perfectly. And what's up, Tropic? Nice to see you in here. I think one of the things that you mentioned, Chris, which I think is so interesting for us to think about, right? I think the ability for us to be relatable will never be replaced by AI, right? So if you want to, like my vision of the future is that the future of marketing is relatability. It is not content creation. It is not spitting out data. It's not spitting out use cases. It's not regurgitating shit that's already out there. I mean, let's face it, a lot of people won't write books because they're like, oh, there's already so many books that have been written. But how many of those books have been read? How many of those books were good, right? How many people don't create podcasts because they're like, oh, there's already too many podcasts. And just FYI, the average podcast dies after 7 episodes. They quit after 7 episodes. And right now, for every one podcast created, there is well over 500 YouTube channels. For every one podcast, there's over 500 YouTube channels that are created every single day. So just like, I think we have to remember that just because people are creating or the ability to create is there doesn't mean that it's going to be what people connect with. And Tropic, to your answer, like I think I said relatability is a big one, but I think maintaining attention in this world right now is a hard game, right? And we're looking at this. I mean, look at what Disney's laying off. Look at ESPN laying off their people, right? Like maintaining attention, I think, is hard, and maintaining attention omni-channel is even harder, right? So, I mean, it's one thing. I mean, I think one of the downfalls of this space, and I played into it as well, right? Like I started a podcast, did it every day, but my main source of distribution of the podcast was the podcast and Twitter. when we all knew better and we just weren't getting much kind of traction on YouTube and much traction on Instagram. And I had those accounts, but they were like 4th or 5th on my content creation priority. Looking back, I messed up, right? Like what I ended up doing was I created and played into the tunnel vision, and I didn't allow myself the ability to capture audience outside of this, the echo chamber that we have here on Twitter. So like that to me is still a big one. Maintain attention. But then how do you do that omni-channel, right? How do you go to where your audience is? I tweeted this today. Like the old school way, the field of dreams is broken, right? Those of us that are old enough to remember the Kevin Costner movie, right? If you build it today, nobody cares, nobody's coming, nobody gives a shit, right? Like it's just the truth. Like you have a new podcast, cool. We like it on your tweet. We reply, congratulations, because we learned engagement farming is what the hell Twitter likes. We tell everybody congrats, but how many of us go subscribe to our friend's podcast that they actually were congratulating and celebrating that they just launched? But if they come to us with like, did you know I got NFT God on there and Gigi's on there and Chris is on there, and we had this dynamic discussion. Well, now you're giving people a reason to come to you versus that old field of dreams, a version that existed before. But I'm sure, Alex, I think you probably got some stuff to throw in there as well.
Yeah, you made one point I like a lot, which is the first point. I don't think AI will ever be able to recreate a lot of your personal experiences. The best content in the world is based on your personal character flaws as well as your personal successes. And AI will never be able to recreate any of those two things. Like, yes, they can write a by the books, good structure of a story, but like they don't know your past experiences. And any content you write, especially on X, you want it to include like past experiences, past examples, emotions you've had in that moment. And AI will never be able to recreate those things. So that's why I don't see in our lifetime AI ever being good enough for us to say, type in, create this, and then it spits out and we just post it and it's good. Like you'll always have to do a vast majority of the editing to include your own personal experiences and pains and happinesses and emotion and things like that.
By the way, I'm laughing right here because Franklin is going off. I sent him an invite, but if you don't know, he recently was accused of being AI by SAC BTX. Oh my God. And it's BTX. Like, he's like, wait, I thought we were supposed to be using AI. I think he's AI. So I'm a challenge Franklin to come on the live stream if he's not AI.
Well, we do say AI makes mistakes, and we know how many times he's fat fingered things. Franklin has, and in some of those swap trades. So maybe there is more truth to that than. Although I had him on the podcast a year and a half ago, way back when he was just stacking those apes, and it was a great conversation. So maybe he turned into AI since that that show.
Yum. NFT's good. I don't know what else.
Franklin's been killing me yesterday with the video on I want to apologize to absolutely nobody. I was dying at that. He's doing a good job at engagement farming, not gonna lie. I mean,
it's not called engagement.
It's kind of working for him.
It's called content creation, visionary. Well, okay, we do.
If that's content, I don't know.
Everyone, hey, content is subjective. Right? So there's not an objective way of making content. I support all content, but we are going to get to the tools. Let's take it over to Stoop, and then we're going to go into what you actually came here to learn. But I want to see at least 10 more retweets or reposts before we keep going.
And comments on the stream. Tell them, Gigi. Tell them about hashtag Gigi Hot Seat. Hashtag Gigi Hot Seat. There's gonna be a winner. There's stuff.
Did you even announce it?
I did 8 seconds ago. So 8 seconds ago, I was like, GG Hot Seat. That's the hashtag. You got to put it in the comments on the live stream. Fanzo's got a prize for us. It's gonna be dope. I'm excited. If you know, you know, but you don't, because I could see that you're not watching on the live stream right now. Bozo.
You know what,
Get in there.
Chris? I'm not gonna watch the live stream because the live stream actually takes your concentration away from the conversation.
If you like something free, just comment GG Hot Seat, and it will be something free from Fanzo. So thank you, Fanzo. Okay, taking it over to Stoop, so then we can go into the tools that you can use right now to elevate your content creation game. And last night I spent like 2 hours going through tools. So what's up, Stoop? Also, nice beans.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I love the bean. It is my definitely, I won't say my forever PFP because I don't know if those are a thing anymore, but I am definitely going to try and work in this bean into my branding going forward, build some IP. It's a great community. But no, actually, I came up because I heard NFT God talking about, especially on the tweet side. I know for myself, I've actually been using ChatGPT myself to try and automate more of my tweets. It took a lot more, I think, front end energy as far as training. So I had to go through and teach it, show it a few of my tweets. What is my style? Give it different types of content that I've given. But I've actually found I don't need to edit as often. And I've actually been able to get it to post a little bit more and help me. I think there are still edits, absolutely. But I think it's been able to capture my voice. But I think it really just took time. So I would like to push back a little bit and say, are you sure that you can't train an AI with some of your imperfections? Are you sure that you couldn't necessarily make it more efficient and be able to reduce your edit time and essentially recreate yourself in this AI? I've been kind of like contemplating on that. I know that there's a few different ways that you can use ChatGPT specifically, either in like separate bins or like continually build on the repository of information that it's pulling from, right? And like by interacting with it, you continue to train that model to be smarter and smarter and understand you better and better. And I found now, if I wanted to get something out, I could get it to produce fairly quickly and not have as many. I don't need to go through 15 different times to give it 7 different prompts. Now I can do 3 to 4 prompts and take 10 minutes to put something out.
I mean, I have to 100% agree with you. I think the question is not can it, it's more do you want it to, right? So I've spoken a lot about this, but like for my previous company, we create generative AI for companies. So like Upwork is one of our clients, and our job as a company was just training on all of their company's data. So when we get when they get a ticket customer, we had a lot of different products. This product was to help leverage the assistants, right? So it's not replacing job, it's helping them be like optimizing their job and their response time. So whenever they would get a query, we would serve up like different documents and different ways they could answer already. And we were doing this back in 2019. We had this product already on the market. So the question is that if you can do it. And honestly, I do want to prompt people that are here to definitely do what who was it, Stoop was saying. There is a character limit. I think it's 8,000 words. So if you give it more than 8,000 words, it's not going to know like how to stay focused on what you're saying. But prompt engineering is something that I think we have on the list of questions. And it's something so essential. You have to be so detailed. You can feed it so much data and have it learn it. And it can create really, really great output for you. But it's all about like how good are you with it? And obviously, if you upgrade to ChatGPT to the Model 4, the output is going to be insane, which is something I've been using. But let me go to the next question. We have I really want to go into the tools. I want you guys to be able to leave this conversation today with some tools. So going into the tools. Let's see. I think this is the question. We do have like show notes. Okay, that was not a question, but let's talk about this. So I want to know from the people on the panel, what are some of the tools that you love to use? Chris, I know you're on video, so maybe if you have any regarding video. Alex, you do a lot of content. If you're going to go into that vertical. Fansel, have a lot of AI images that you're doing and like a lot of cool art. I think we can go into different verticals. So I'm going to kick it off to Chris first.
My bad, I was muted. All right. Well, I took over the stream just because I could share my screen. Everybody could do this too. If there's a specific tool that Fanzo or Alex, if you want to share that. This particular one, it's called Autopod. This one freaks me out because how many hours I've spent editing conversations that are, multiple guests, whether it's like 4 or 5 people that can be having a conversation here on like a live stream on StreamYard. I'm able to download that footage from StreamYard, upload it directly into my editor, and then I run this thing called Autopod. And basically, all that it does is it pays attention to who's speaking, and it looks at their audio and their video individually. And then it makes this really cool blend of the different speakers talking one at a time, and it changes the visual. So if Fanzo's talking, it'll only show him. But then if I laugh, it might cut over to me to capture that moment of me kind of laughing and engaging with whatever Fanzo just said. And then it goes back to him. Okay, if I were to tell 10 people to edit that, what I just explained, probably 9 of those would be really clunky, and it wouldn't come off as like a natural conversation. It wouldn't show it the right way. For whatever reason, the way that this particular tool has been built, Autopod, it does it in a very natural way. So it's pleasing to watch that. And you can actually make a lot of the adjustments for how many times it bounces back and forth. And you could use it to like cut out dead space. There's a lot of cool stuff on there. So for anybody who does any kind of editing, this saves me a crazy amount of time. I can edit in like a 1-hour interview, and it has it ready to post with like 45 seconds of me waiting for the AI to do its thing. So that's my big thing. I'm pumped on it. All right, let's go.
That one's sick. I'm definitely gonna look into it. And I saw you using it actually. I saw you for a video with Sansa on the Espresso Shot, and I was like, how did he get that? Like it looks so good. Fanzo, what's the alpha you're gonna share with us today?
So I'm a user of Autopod, so I'm a fan of that one. And I will say it's definitely multi-camera. Like I think the thing with a lot of these AI tools is you have to recognize like what was the scenario it was built for, and play within that, right? Like a solo podcast where you like, or a podcast you're doing on Zoom, it struggles more to figure out that, because there's also where's the recording of the audio, right? Just like all of these tools. So I'm a big fan of that. I have to give a shout out to Zealous. Zealous is one that I talk about a lot here. I think many of us use Zealous. Zealous has been doing stuff for creators now, especially in the audio space for 2.5+ years. And I like, it's adapting, right? So it's creating graphics directly from your Twitter Spaces, from your podcast. I have my RSS feed directly from my podcast. The minute I post my podcast into like the publisher, Zealous automatically has it. It transcripts it, and then it has graphics and templates that are already built for me to share. So I'm a big fan of what Zealous is doing from like that audio auto creator. And then I'll tell you, like, if anyone hasn't used Bing, which sounds so weird to say out loud, right? I feel like a boomer. Like I'm gonna plug the Microsoft Bing product. Back in my day, we had Dogpile but Bing, Microsoft. In my opinion, Microsoft will be the #1 player in all of AI. Just to be very clear, they've been hoarding data. They bought LinkedIn for one reason and one reason only, is to own all of that data. So LinkedIn, Microsoft has been playing the AI game long before pretty much any of us have even thought of it. But the AI, what Bing does really well now is you have to download the little Edge browser. It's free, but you don't have to pay for ChatGPT 4. It's actually using the same generative open AI model with Bing. But what I think is really interesting is it's pulling in not only internet data, so it's live data, but it's also giving you sources and allows you to kind of research within. So for anyone that has like a unique name, like Gigi, yours probably would be perfect for it. You can download Bing and say, I'm thinking about hiring Gigi to speak at this event. What are the last 5 things she spoke on? What type of content does she have? And what are 3 reviews people have posted about her? And I will tell you what, it puts out, like, it's pretty damn impressive for anyone that has a personal brand. Like if you don't have a personal brand, it's actually a great test for you to be like, okay, what kind of content do I want to put out there? I've done that before where like I Google my name and it just pulls up a bunch of websites. But I will tell you, I put my name, actually, I didn't put my name in. Someone actually sent me a screenshot of my name into the Bing. And I was like, shit, that makes me, I sound more impressed. Bing makes me sound better and loops in my experience in cybersecurity and my background better than I do writing my own stuff forward. So Bing is one that I'll throw in there. And then I have to throw in like, look into every tool. Like, every Microsoft Office tool is going to have AI built in right now. I'm a huge Grammarly fan. Like I've done, I think it's somewhere north of 600,000 words since I started using Grammarly. I've gone through Grammarly. So when I program Grammarly. When I ask Grammarly a question, it's actually using over 600,000 of my words to actually, return back like my tone of voice. Like I even found it using some of my own little quirks where I put like ... after things, and I will capitalize words that like don't need to be capitalized, but just because my ADHD, it gives me that dopamine hit that I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna capitalize this shit for no reason. It started doing that in Grammarly, and I was like, damn, because it has such a huge database for my uses. So yeah, those are a couple that I would throw out. I think Descript is another great one that's out there that many people have talked about. Like for me, video editing where I can edit the text and it auto edits the video. Like, I mean, that's just a game changer, right? Because I don't know about anybody else, but I mean, Chris is a badass editor. I am not a badass editor, but I am pretty damn good at knowing how to, okay, remove all these remove this, there's no reason for me even to have this question in there because the person, repeats the question. So you can delete a lot of those things in Descript, but yeah, those are a couple I'll throw out. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. Definitely check out Bing and Google your name or Bing your name or whatever the hell. Bing AI your name, I guess is what we have to call it.
I love that. I remember we talked about this a few months ago when we did our co-presentation 3-hour workshop, fans. So let's go.
Yeah, we did 3 hours of this. Yes, we did.
We did 3 hours, and Google Bard is better in finding out things because Google Bard gets to also like search the internet versus ChatGPT that does not have access to actually searching. But Bing, I did see about it. I think Bing is a little confusing, like the UI. It's made for them boomers, which I am part of the boomers, but I'm not using it right now. And I just want to say, like, I really am excited to listen to Alex's or NFT God's take on this. I have my notes ready while I'm also looking at a whole list of AI tools that I have to see which ones I want to recommend.
So, first of all, feel free to call me Alex. I don't care. I don't.
I like NFT God. Like NFT God. Let's go.
Okay, I have an ego, but it's not big enough to demand people call me God. So I'm fine with either. Anyway, I don't know if I'm going to give you some mind-blowing answer here. Honestly, there's really only.
Give us the alpha. Come on, don't be stingy with the tools.
I kind of leaked the alpha earlier, to be honest with you. The code interpreter and the ability to create custom CSVs and upload it and then ask questions about the CSVs, I think are like the most underrated thing going on in AI that no one's using or talking about. I think people hear the term code interpreter and they're immediately turned off by that idea of using a tool called a code interpreter. But it really is amazing, what you can put into a CSV upload and start asking questions. A lot of people are trying to train AI to use their voice and spend hours doing it. Well, one really easy way to do it is upload a CSV of all your tweets and say, hey, use this and start creating content on it, right? So the code interpreter is amazing. I tell everyone I talk to, especially those in my community, that like you should be manually putting all your tweets into a CSV so that you can track them, track performance, review what you've written in the past. It takes a lot of time, but it's 100% worth it. But then now you can use Code Interpreter to analyze those CSVs and do some really interesting things and write really interesting prompts. So if you haven't played around with it yet, definitely go into the Code Interpreter and see what it's capable of, because it's really it's basically a data analyst built for you, built out for you, which is really amazing. And then the other one, it's already been mentioned, but Descript. So I'm right now working on a Twitter content course that releases in a week and a half now. And I'm doing all the filming on myself, and I do all the editing in Descript, which has made it incredibly easy just to like go in, search for all the backspace them out. Like, for those who haven't used it yet, Descript is this incredible video editing tool where if you're used to Premiere Pro, it's really complex and complicated. It's the best tool on the planet, but it's really complex. With Descript, it just takes everything you said in the video and makes it text, like a script, and then you edit it like you would like a text editor. So if there's a sentence I said, if you're going to do it in Premiere Pro, you'd have to like go on the timeline, zoom in, slice it, find where you said it, and it's just like kind of complex activity. But with Descript, you just search for it in the script and then backspace and it deletes it, which is really like a really mind-blowing paradigm shift in video editing that's never been done before. So Descript is awesome. Highly recommend that if you're thinking about getting into video. I wrote a thread last week on like how the algorithm changed, and it's like going all the way in on video. They're recommending video. It's pushing video in the algorithm. Video is coming to X and it's going to be huge.
Why am I being fired?
They do a security.
Someone's being fired. Sorry about that. Hidasa, you're getting fired. You just announced it on the space. Anyway, get into video, experiment with it. Descript's the absolute easiest and best way for beginners to experiment with video and make edits.
Those are some good ones. I want to turn it over to Visionary before I say some of mine.
Yeah, I've used all of these tools, to be honest. I think it depends on how you use them. Initially I used Descript mostly for audiograms, and it took me way longer, and then I found out about Zealous, and Zealous has saved me so many hours of my life. I wish I had Descript when I was a journalist, because every single day I had to film content and then edit it and send it in, and it would take me 4 or 5 hours to edit everything in Premiere Pro, which would have taken me probably like an hour or half an hour in Descript. So I have used Descript. I absolutely love both Zealous, Descript. I use a bunch of ChatGPT for everyday tasks that are just boring and repetitive. And then what others were mentioned? I have not used Autopod, but I'm definitely going to check that out. That sounds really, really cool. And I've used Midjourney a little bit, played around with it, but mostly really, really love both Descript, Zealous, and ChatGPT.
Okay, so for me, I have a lot of like podcasts that I've done, and a lot of both just like audio and video podcasts. So I've definitely been looking for more of the audio ones that can help me create segments of the conversation. I'm going to give this alpha. I don't want to give it. I'm being stingy. I'm like, don't use up the model. It's going to take longer to create the video. But two that I think are really cool. So I just have them pulled up here. One is called Opus Clip, like OPUS Clip. And basically you add in there the YouTube link or whatever, and then it segments it, and it just gives you the clips that you can upload. It's really, really cool. They have a freemium right now, so it's like 30 days free. You get up to like 40 minutes, no watermark. That one's really cool. So I've been testing with that one. Another one that I've tried is Too Short.ai. And it's a similar thing, right? It can create like your reels. It can create like for your YouTube shorts. Definitely been testing a lot with video, just because there's so much video content that ends up not being reused. And then in terms of for like creation, I have tried honestly like Copy.ai in terms of creating some copy for whatever I'm doing. Jasper, but now it's paid. So Jasper's a good one if you're willing to invest a little bit in it. And this is not AI technically, but I'm using, what's its name? Let me look it up here real quick, because I think it's a good one. I am using Metricool to be able to kind of like automate cross channels. So not only for Twitter, but also for Instagram. I want to get back into TikTok and Instagram, so I'm doing that. And then if you are going to get into Reels and you don't have like the creativity to be creating it and all, use CapCut. You can it gives you templates, upload all your videos there. And this is a lot of alpha. Like, I know it sounds just like words, but if you see all of the value these tools give you, they're really helpful, especially if you want to be a content creator and you're doing video and you're trying to actually create a good workflow. Chris, I'm gonna answer it over to you.
Gigi Burns Zucchini. Gigi Hot Seat. Make sure to get your hashtags in there. Okay, so this is something that I'm sure Fanzo knows about. I'm super excited about it. I think for people that are learning content creation and they're trying to get started, and they're trying to like figure out like, what do I do first? I think that could be some of the biggest hurdles out there. And Fanzo already brought it up, but Zealous, I'm super excited about some of the stuff that's coming down the pipeline that they're building. And all I can tell you is that if you have a hard time figuring out what to talk about, that's not going to be an issue. So I think it's going to be a very cool barrier breaker that I haven't seen anywhere else, because all these other tools, they're all after the fact. You don't use them when you're trying to figure out what you're going to do. You use them, I mean, like to the extent of Chat GPT says, here's 7 things you can blah, blah, blah. Cool. Here's that's like, here's 7 ways to look like every other asshole using Chat GPT. But after the fact, like that's when you go to post it all, you're kind of, that's where you're blending in. But for people that have unique backgrounds and skill sets and their unique voice and all that, I think what's going to be a really, really huge breakthrough coming up here is going to be something that can take all of your information and then start recommending to you different things to think about, different questions for you to answer with your experience. And that I feel like is just going to be massive. So again, huge, big hats off to Zealous. And if you don't know, now you know, start following Zealous, because that's going to be some pretty cool stuff coming down the pipeline.
100%. And we actually use them. So non-paid chill, but definitely check out Zealous. Okay, so I just realized it's 4:08. Your girl's starving. My zucchinis are burnt. I might show them on the stream in the next 10 minutes.
Just eat the cookies.
My chicken is cold because the same way I try to workflow my things, I try to workflow my meals. I prep the chicken. It's cold. Didn't get time to eat, of course. We have one really good question I want Visionary to ask. We have a speed round at the end to get to know our panelists better, of course. And we have some hands. So I want to do a light speed round through these hands. We're going to do 1 minute per hand. If you take too long, you're going to hear this. That means speed it up. And then we're going to go to our last question and then speed round. So if you have a question, raise your hand now. Don't wait till we're almost done. And I'm going to send it over to the content guy.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Sorry, and regarding to the AI for content creation, I kind of detect that as a content creator, you need to be speaking facts and make sure that everything you've been doing is genuine and you're giving the right information always. So because of that, I dictate that I can be using Grammarly. I just use my voice. I give the Grammarly the prompts of what I want to do and it gives me back the feedback. And getting the feedback, I take it to reward.com. Reward.com will help me to check for facts, the ones that are correct, the ones that are not correct. Then after that, I move it to ChatGPT for more information about by Google. From there, I tend to get my content extracted, and getting those content extracted, then I can now move it to Systacia if I want to create video content. So I just use those texts to create a video content, and I just use some artwork from Midjourney to just help me to put it for the video content. So AI has been helping to create top-notch content for me right from my days of using LinkedIn before I started using Twitter now, and it has been giving me more value. It makes work easier and everything is fast. So I believe introducing AI into content creation is the very best, because it's going to help to minimize the workload and make things faster.
Oops.
Let's throw it over to Mike. Mike, welcome to the stage. I think it's your first time here.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate it. Great panel. Great discussion. So I'll be quick. When it comes to finding the tools, there's a really good one called topai.tools. There's actually 36 different Twitter tools you can download, try, take a look at. NFT God, you're going to like the one. There's actually one there that does go through the code and actually analyzes the code as a developer. I'm not sure if it's the same one that you use, but I think you'd be interested in seeing that one. It's called Algorithmic Rank Validator. There's a bunch of tools that I've tried. I haven't tried them all, but anytweet.com is a good one. I'm trying to find one that I can kind of knows my personality, as we've discussed, or has been discussed on the panel today. There's obviously a bunch of tweet power assistants and then reply bots and stuff like that. But futuretools.com is one that I found a long time ago, and I reference it. I don't know who makes it, I have no affiliation with it, but what's nice about it is that it summarizes all of the AI tools out there. Right now, I think in total, there is 2,039 tools that it's evaluated, and then it ranks them based on the public vote. So I think that's they've got everything from voice modulation to video editing to video, text to video. But you just click on the subject that you're interested in, and then it pulls up all of the different possible tools. So it's a good way to find. And then just real quickly, ChatGPT is something I've learned a lot about. Spent a lot of time in it. Growing up dyslexic, I wasn't always the best writer, and so this has been groundbreaking for me. But it's been nice to with ChatGPT, you can feed it stuff, as we all know, but when you have those particular file folders, I call them, on the left side. So I have one that I've created. It's called my AI prompt for Midjourney, and I loaded it up with all the protocols and all of the parameters that Midjourney uses, from the style to the size, or to the view, all the different things that it builds out of. And it's been great, because every time I need a piece of art, I go back down to that ChatGPT folder, and I do my prompts there. And then on the other side of it, I'll make sure that those prompts on the left of those file folders are always specific to a certain thing. All right, I got my clock. So yes, and then Bard's great too. So
100%. And I didn't get the first one. You said it was like topaitools.com.
It's top. It's let me pull it back up. It's topaitools.com.
Mike, I went into the
excuse me,
Twitter
not .com.
algorithm ranker validator right after you mentioned it, and I wrote a tweet that said Threads is a great tool. It's way better than Twitter. I'm switching from Twitter to Threads and Instagram and Substack immediately, which would get about 0 reach if I tweeted that out, and it rated the tweet a 95 out of 100. So I don't know. The tool might not be totally up to date.
I haven't tried it yet. Yeah. So, but it's topai.tools. It's not no .com. So I apologize about that.
I got you. Thank you for that. Alex, NFT God, can I just give you a little bit of shit right now? Like, sorry.
Whenever you want. Yes, whenever you want.
I just always, so something I did not, and tell me if this was you or it was Frank Degots. I don't know, because I was watching a video about it, and I don't know which one it was. Is it you that actually got fired from your first junior job as a software engineer?
First of all, did I tweet about that? Yes, that was me. Oh, I talked about that, I think, on a space yesterday. Yeah, why?
I just love how everyone's like, software engineers, I'm like, bruh, man didn't even made it past his first month. What are we talking about? No, I'm kidding.
If getting fired from jobs was a measure of how smart you are, I am by far the stupidest human being to ever.
Hey, I'm not saying if you're smart or not. I just love how you carried on with the title. Because I'm a previous, software engineer. Like, I used to do that. I just love how they know you as a software engineer, because someone else.
I engineer software.
You're
I still do it.
Are you still a software engineer?
Yeah, I build a bunch of tools on the side. Just because I got fired from my first job doesn't make me a developer anymore.
No, okay. I didn't know if you actually kept coding or if that was the end of that.
Listen, I spent 10 hours last week going through every line of code of the Twitter algorithm. I still do a little coding on the side.
Okay. I'll take it back.
Don't code watch me, all right?
We'll do a coding challenge live. I think
let's do it.
Let's do that. That's the next thing. If enough people comment on that, we will do a live coding challenge together. I used to do this for the people interviewing for my previous company. We would do a 2-hour challenge I created. It was probably not the funnest for them. It was really fun for me. So we'll do that. I'm so down. We have too many hands. Okay, we do 1 minute, 4 hands. No more hands.
1 minute.
Sorry,
4
Washta.
hands.
I know you love raising your hands.
Oh, yeah, right.
Let's go. We're going to take it over to someone who has not spoken. Belle, thank you so much for joining. So happy to see you here.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, I've been quietly listening. Great show. I love all the content. I especially love how you called out Alex. Hey, Alex. I think that it is, you know
Hey,
what?
Belle.
What's up? You know what that is an amazing example of? It's all about how you present things, right? It's all about perspective and semantics, and you make that shit become real however you present it. I think that's a lesson learned. So, all right, I only have a minute. So, a couple of things that I use on a daily basis: ChatGPT for thinking, sure. And I use it in a lot of different instances, from everything in, like, I don't know, the traditional emails, the traditional help me write things. I also do it when I'm hosting Twitter spaces because it gives me really good, like a lot of the Twitter spaces that I've been doing lately have been like spotlights and interviews on one particular creator or speaker or founder. And I play a lot around with like the flow of it, different ideas. I give it a ton of information. So I do a lot of research. I provide it with the research, and then it helps me come up with, the flow of it, which is a tremendous help when you only have an hour to an hour and a half to consolidate everything. I also use otter.ai, and I automatically have it join all of my meetings, just to, listen, give me a transcription. But they've also implemented Otter AI Chat, which automatically comes up on meetings. And you can also personally use it. So sometimes when I just have like way too many things on my mind, which is every day, and I just want to kind of spit it out, then I use Otter in any of my private meetings, and it's just you just speak to it, and you can go back and ask it then to consolidate it, or give me the top 10 things, key points, or things that I could apply, etc. And then you just kind of, for me personally, I use that as a starting point to continue to then say, all right, these are things that I want to focus on. These are things that I can expand, etc. So otter.ai is a really good one. I also use Hyperfury to schedule that out of all of my posts and all of my tweets. But more than that, what I've started using, and I haven't experimented too much into it, but Black Magic, which was acquired by Hyperfury, is a really good CRM for tracking, or not tracking, but for keeping, all of your Twitter community or X community in one place. And it gives you really cool data on all of your relationships. So just like a traditional CRM where you can go in and say, all right, who's this person that I've been communicating with? It gives you really good information on, for example, how far back they followed you, what your interaction has been with them. You can write yourself private notes on there as a reminder, so Gigi, maybe I'll say, saw her last at, X place. Her favorite drink is whatever. So it's a really good place to put all of your thoughts on, and keep it as a CRM. So those are, and copy.ai is one that I don't subscribe to it, but I find that it really gives me, like, it accelerates when I have writer's block. If I just put in there just a couple of words or maybe a sentence or so, it really gives me some prompts to say, okay, yeah, this is a really good starting point. And then I take it from there. So I hope those are helpful.
Those are all so good. Also, I always feel so guilty after I give shit to NFT God. I'm kidding. But I
You
did
shouldn't feel guilty. People give me shit all day. It's the last person you should feel guilty about.
I thought you said, Gigi, I love when you give me shit. Give me more shit. So I'm like,
I do. So why are you feeling guilty?
What you don't see is visionaries secretly messaging me like, poke him with this. No, I'm kidding. Okay. We're going to shorten the time for the hands to 45 seconds. And again, we're going to go to Vistek, who is new to the stage. Hey, Vistek, what's up?
You have 3 seconds to ask your question.
Yeah, and let's keep it to questions. Let's do, if you have a question, we have an awesome panel. If you don't have a question, we have some questions for them.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to something little, because I've actually gained a lot hearing different AI tools that people use to create content. Although I don't do video content, I majorly do written and then art. There's this art tool that I use, Lazycar.art. I love the artwork they generate, and it's also possible to download other artwork, even those not generated by you. And then if I'm putting up a content on something very current, I prefer to use Bard since it is very up to date. So, but one thing I usually advise people, and that is what I wanted to say, is if you're writing about something, make sure you know about that thing. Because I've seen tons of people put up content, and then it's very easy to detect that they are just using AI, and that's because they don't know about that thing. But if you need to have knowledge about that thing first before you then use AI to generate content.
Thank you. Thank you for that take. Okay, 45 seconds. If you have a question, we will have some time to add, but if you don't have a question, don't raise your hand. We have some really good 2 last questions to give to our panel. Okay, Wash that. Thank you. Let's throw over to Sammy.
Yo, sorry, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. First of all, I don't know if anybody has said this, but amazing panel we have here, and to be nice if members of the space can follow, and receive the space, because this has been a value packed and all. And on my take on AI, yes, I did have a question, but I think one of the speakers answered in the sense that he dropped this website, topai.tools, which I'm currently checking out for top tools that I can use, because I myself am in content or aspiring. I've been putting out a little bit of content here and there, but I just started the process. So yeah, I'm looking to learn, because there have been a lot of tools said from the beginning to end. It's not easy to grasp them all, but I try my best. I think some AI tools will help. And also, personal take. I think AI is the future. Yes, it might be a little repetitive, but there was a video one time about Joe Rogan and Andrew Huberman. I think they kind of endorsed the product, like it was an actual video. Watched it, but it wasn't really them. It was AI. So it's that crazy. That's my own personal take. And thank you.
Thank you, Sammy. And I'm happy that the tools that everyone shared are good. Tropic, over to you.
Hey, just a quick add-on and a general question to everyone really quick, and I'll throw it out in 30 seconds. But one thing that everyone's talking about, Descript, which is absolutely awesome, especially as a podcaster, not just for video. But one of the cool things is I would always mess up on a word. I'd use the wrong word for something, and where my studio is set up, it's like right next to the bed, so it would absolutely wake up my wife when I'm trying to edit at 3 o'clock. But Descript has this thing where you can just upload your voice and it can generate your voice to sound like you. So I think that's awesome, to actually sound like you using AI generated voice from all your stuff. But the cool thing too is with the transcript, you can throw it into ChatGPT and use that as the source to sound like you when it's spitting back its thing. So when I throw things into ChatGPT, it actually does sound like me, because the information that it's pulling from is actually my podcast recording. And then the question that I have, if anyone has any kind of experience customizing some sort of database with, because I have all these podcast recordings, all these transcripts and everything, to create a database where I can have my own AI, like just pulling solely from my sources, would be absolutely awesome. If you have any YouTube links or anything, please feel free to DM me or share that with me. That'd be awesome. But yeah, that was my little 2 cents I want to add on.
I'm dying. We're laughing here because I'm like, I love how he's speaking in 2x. NFT God, I feel like you're the best at like databases. Do you have any recs there?
The only database I use is MongoDB from a one. It's not really built for AI just yet. I don't think they have like.
Okay, I get it. You're an engineer.
I don't work with any vector databases at the moment, so I don't know.
Do you do like databases on Notion at all? Just like table database?
No. I do simple things in Notion. I don't have like intense databases. No, I do everything through Mongo. I think Mongo is the easiest to use database.
Honestly, that's impressive because Mongo, it's not the easiest to use for normal people. So like, I'll give it to you. You probably did some engineering. Go ahead, Fanso.
Well, I think just the word database gives me my skin crawls because, computer science was my major. And then I was like, fuck this. I don't want to do databases and this was like I think Gigi, you were in diapers whenever I was in school for computer science, but we were doing Ada and some really bad database programming. But I will say, one of the things that we have to recognize is a lot of these learning language models that the AI are being based on, a lot of them are using the same open AI backend. So make sure if you're I think the $20 for ChatGPT is worth it because you should connect your API to all of these tools that you're using because they don't actually pull from the global database that you're connecting. So in Zealous, for example, to answer Tropic's question, Zealous has pulled every single Twitter space that I've been on and every podcast that I've created in the last 2 years. So that is all inside of Zealous. Now, Zealous also has the ChatGPT plugin, but what is nice is I can connect that ChatGPT to my ChatGPT, my backend of my ChatGPT using the OpenAI API, and then it's kind of making this full circle. So I know when I was at that event last week, every brand is creating their own learning language model internally because none of them want to put their IP or their marketing on public ChatGPT, right? So they're all building their own internal. We had the Cleveland Clinic there, Amazon, Harvard. They're all building their own closed-off version of these ChatGPT AI. And I think one of the things we can think about it from a public perspective is most of them that are using ChatGPT backend, you can connect the dots. So just make sure you're doing that because it'll benefit you in the long run. Because I want to connect right now. Grammarly doesn't allow it, but I want to connect my Grammarly to my Descript to my Zealous and pull all of that in the ChatGPT. It's gonna have, probably for me, it's gonna have 600 interviews, probably north of 1,000 hours of recorded content of mine, all inside of ChatGPT that it'll pull. So using tools like Zealous and then connecting the API and the backend, I think is a workaround for us non-database freaks.
Whew. Tropic, I hope that helped. I know what you're saying. I definitely don't know any tools, but I'm gonna look into it. I know you can make ChatGPT be your own tool. They don't have I don't know if you upload the content to YouTube, then that way I'll give it a thought. I think there is a way. We are going to go into our questions. So this one is a good one that I'm going to drop. So Emily said, do you disclose when you're using AI to generate content? Do you see a day where disclosing if AI was used in a creative process will be legally required? That's a good question. Personally, I don't. I think I customize my prompts enough to where I'm getting more of a brainstorming from what it gets outputted versus just using it directly. What about you guys?
Yeah, for every one of my every one of my pieces of art, I have on in the description which tools that I use. So it'll say prompt originally created in Midjourney, edited in Adobe Firefly, and finalized in Procreate. So for me, I think that layer of transparency doesn't hurt me. I add that to all of the art that I'm creating just because I don't ever want to be confuse anything from anything else on that side. I think there's a difference between using something to help you versus using something to fully automate it and create it. I do subscribe to a newsletter right now that is 100% ChatGPT generated. And it's pretty interesting because even though I know it's 100% ChatGPT generated, it's and it says at the top, just reminder, this was not, no human interaction was created. The way that they've set up the prompts, to me, I give that person flowers. Matt Wolf is his name. And I give Matt credit because Matt created the original prompting mechanisms to decide what was in there, and he discloses it at the top of the email, which I felt like I think like right now the transparency can't hurt, but I also think it's like a little bit overkill, like you said, Gigi. If it's for brainstorming and stuff, I don't think there's a need. Like I just posted a tweet earlier and I put from ChatGPT because I literally did not edit it at all. I just copy pasted it and put it out. So yeah, that's my kind of view on it. With art, I'm definitely going transparency.
I love that. Definitely something to think about. So our favorite Twitter god has to leave. So I just have to give you the fire round of questions and then take it around the panel so we can start wrapping up. So you have to leave, but Visionary, do you want to ask him our fire round real quick?
Yeah, for sure. By the way, Emily, as always, with the fire question, every single time Emily asks the question is just phenomenal. I think that conversation can go much further, and I think we could probably get into that on another space as well. All right, NFT gods. Sometimes we do these random speed rounds to get to know people a little bit better. It's just a fun one. So tell us as quick as you possibly can. Out of these two foods, which one? Hot dogs or burgers?
Bacon cheeseburgers all day.
A coffee or tea?
Coffee or tea? Coffee. Oat milk latte.
Coffee. Video games or TV shows?
Video games. You're more engaging for the brain.
Hey, I like that. Sunrise or sunset?
Sunrise. I'm trying to go to bed early. Sunrise.
Like I knew you were gonna say that. And lastly, pizza or tacos?
I'm gonna have to go with tacos because in my opinion, they're better as leftovers. So I make tacos for dinner, then I'll eat them again for lunch the next day. Pizza I don't like as leftovers.
You can come to the Latinos cookout now. You are fully and wholly approved. Thanks.
The only reason I gave the answer.
Thanks so much for another phenomenal.
Know your audience. Know your audience, Alex. Well played. Well played.
Yep.
Yeah. That was all on purpose. He knew that Gigi and me are both Latinas, so he said tacos. No, thank you so much for your time. It's been another phenomenal space. Learned so much. Always love doing these spaces with you and Chris and Fanzo. You guys gave so much value, and obviously every speaker that was here as well. So absolutely loved it. So should we take it to Chris and Fanzo for the speed round?
I say NFT God, anything you want to add before you leave us? Because apparently I bully you too much, so you're never coming back.
First of all, I'll be back. I know people who bully way more than you. Wink, wink. Second, I'll say my final piece of advice is if you're going to use AI, don't be boring because a lot of AI content is really boring. So the last thing you want to do is be boring. So that's all I got. It's great talking to you guys.
Thank you for coming, and for everyone here. Don't forget he has a 1% Better Club. Check it out on his Twitter. They have a community on Discord. Today I joined an accountability kind of like a voice chat. It was pretty cool. They do it weekly, so definitely check it out if you're looking to elevate your game while also having a creators community. Alex, I've been really enjoying being part of your Discord finally.
Thank you. Yes, hit the link in the bio of my profile if you want to sign up for the newsletter and get in the community. It's called the 1% Club. I also got a Twitter content, basically a writing course coming out in a week and a half now. Go to onebetter.io if you're interested in that. And I appreciate all you guys. We'll talk soon.
Thank you for coming. Okay, now it's time to put the man, the legend, Fanzo on the hot seat. Fanzo, I want to know, hot dog or burger?
Hot dogs are gross. Burgers all day long.
I can't believe you said that. You know, people get disgusted by the fact that I love the hot dogs with the cheese. You know, like
My dog, like literally, there's probably 3 packages of them in my freezer right now because my daughters love them. But and I hate pickles too, so that my daughters put pickles on their hot dogs, just all despite me. So it's I'm team hamburgers.
Hang on.
no
Gigi, I gotta say this just so that you know. but human remains were found in hot dogs across. Like,
Okay, we don't need
various
this
studies
negativity in
the
our life,
US.
Visionary. No one needs that
Human
negativity.
remains, Gigi. You're eating part.
Well,
of
I don't know what
humans.
brands you're buying. I'm definitely not buying
It's
in the
all
black
in the US
market.
too. I'm not.
I'm
I'm in
definitely
Spain.
not
I'm
buying in the
good.
black market, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Listen, I eat fresh here in Spain. Y'all in the US, you got to get that food right. I don't know what's going on with the hot dogs, but human remains sounds wild to me.
Okay, I'm never gonna let you be co-host again talking about remains. What the hell? Okay, guys, let's act like we did not hear that. I saw Washta with the thumbs down. Washta, what is the easiest way of getting protein in your day? Yes, it has a little bit of fat. I know you're lean AF, but not everyone can get that level of leanness. You know, like I've been working out for years. I have never been able to get as lean as you. So I definitely need that alpha. Maybe the next Twitter space is how to get strong and lean. Sorry to anyone who's watching me on the live stream and seeing all the faces I'm making. Okay, fans, so back to you. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Coffee, video games or TV shows?
TV all day long. I'm an
What's your
addict.
favorite show?
I like all documentaries. Like documentaries are my jam. Like there's pretty much not a documentary I haven't seen. But like I thing I hate right now is I hate shows that are coming out week by week. Like that's so old school. Like drop the entire season on me before like it gets to another one. But I will throw out one that like it's a pretty good show that is week to week. It's called Lioness on Paramount Plus. It's actually a really good show about like CIA female CIA operatives. It's pretty entertaining, so I'll throw that one out there. But yeah, I'm all documentaries all day.
I love that. I'm starting to watch How to Create a Cult on Netflix.
It's good. Oh, it's good. I binged the shit out of that at my last plane ride like last week, and oh, it's a good one. It's the narrative. Whoever like I'm such a geek for I like how they put together documentaries, and the narrator on like teaching you how to create a cult, and like the whole time is like, now that you've learned this, you need to learn this. It's a really creative use of a documentary. So yeah, you'll enjoy that one.
Guys, I've been teasing. There's a big change coming to what I've been building with Crypto Tech Women, with a huge rebrand coming with it, and how to create a cult. You know, it's something I've been thinking about a lot. Maybe we are building a cult. You'll have to find out more.
I just want to see you levitate, and then I will be a believer.
Hey, I can make that happen. Let's sunrise or sunset?
I'm Sunrise. Yeah, Team Sunrise.
Sunrise, pizza or tacos?
I know my audience, but I mean, pizza is my favorite food. It would be the food I want on my deathbed, so I'm all about some pizza.
Whoa, okay, extremist here. And then I'm gonna give you a last one. This one is gonna be the decision maker. Are we friends or not friends? Ice cream or cake?
Oh, ice cream. Now I'm team cake over pie, but I don't know if you know this about me, but my family owned a frozen yogurt shop from when I was 13 to when I was 20. So I like to say I hired and fired my friends before I was 16 years old, and it was called Fanzo's It's Yogurt. So I feel like I was indoctrinated. Like every one of my high school friends, we would just leave high school and they would run by the yogurt shop and get free ice cream. And my dad had to learn that later. Like, why are we not making any money? And it was because I was giving away to all of my friends. But yeah, Fanzo's It's Yogurt. So am I right or wrong there? Are you cake over ice cream?
I love cake.
I like cake over pie. Cake over pie all day.
Sensitive. Sensitive to gluten, so I really can't be eating it, but like I just love cake. But I'm also basic. Like I'll do vanilla cake, vanilla ice cream, you know, like I don't really complicate things here.
I'm pro gluten. I think the gluten is the part that I like the taste of. So I'm sorry that you're sensitive to gluten.
Yeah, I'm sorry that my body hates me. Same. Visionary, I'm gonna take it over to you before we go to Chris, and then we're gonna have some words at the end for some other things I think you should use if you're a content creator. But Visionary, I think it's time to put you on the hot seat. Tropical island or winter cabin?
Tropical island. Like, what kind of question is that?
Cycling or running?
Ooh, This is a hard one. Probably cycling for the knees. You know, we're getting old, nearly 31 years old.
Did not expect that one. Candy or chocolate?
Chocolate, 100% over candy. Candy's nasty.
Oh, do you hear me? Rainy days or sunny days?
No, I hear you. Sunny days. Who likes rain? I lived in London for 5 years. I'm never going back. Absolutely not. It's so most depressing time of my life. No offense to Londoners in the house.
No offense to Shiv and Sendit, the only two people here from London. And last but not least, pizza or tacos?
Well, you already know. If I say pizza on this one, I'm betraying my whole culture. Of course,
guys. I have to say, I choose pizza over tacos. I'm on Fanso's team, and I do like Rehita pizza. I don't know.
The weirdest part is I'm not really betraying my. I'm also part Italian, so you know, I'll choose with the heart. Tacos.
Tacos. Okay. I love pizza. Any type, any kind. Pesto, white sauce. Oh my God. I'm so hungry. I'm going to show you the zucchinis. So if you are on the stream, come check it out. So I'm going to show it while you ask Chris 6 hot seat questions.
Chris, we're not going to give you the same ones as everyone else. So number 1, full moon or new moon?
Before you begin, I want everyone to know you failed. You did not take part in the live stream challenge, and I beat you. I won, not you. Okay.
All right, let's get into it. Say that again. I have no idea what you just said.
What the? I heard like 1% of what you just said. All I heard was you failed.
Yes.
What was that?
Nobody did the challenge, and 3 of us did, and I was one of them, and I won. So nobody won.
No, actually, some people did it on the chat here. They didn't really understand.
And that's my fault, and that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make this right.
I'm saying it's your fault.
Yeah. I claim responsibility. I don't know what anyone's gonna do about it, but we'll definitely do this better in the future. So I'll take the L because I want somebody to deserve Fanzo's kick-ass giveaway. So we're gonna try this again. So keep on following, because when we do these live streams, like we gotta make this a thing. People have to jump on that chat.
Chris, are you telling me you're gonna rug my audience? You're gonna rug my
No,
audience.
I won.
3
I won.
people did it, and you're gonna rug them from the prize for showing up?
No. They can take part in the next one and then follow directions. So just so you know, watch the live stream, take part in the chat. I'm the winner. Wajda, I don't know if this is a legal thing or not, but I don't care. Okay, come on, let's back to me. Let's go, visionary.
All right, Chris. Actually, I have a more important, because this tells me who you are as a person. Dogs or cats?
Wow. I love my cats. I'm a dog guy, but I love my cats. I got the best cat in the world. He kills everything. It's amazing. Sweetest little dude. Vicious killer.
Wow, my sister has a real orange asshole cat today, and I found out that that's just that like personality trait. Orange cats are just really like they're just assholes. So
I want to say it in the comment. Dogs or cats? Visionary, drop this fire set of questions. You have 10 seconds, so I can show up my zucchini and I can go eat before I become angry.
Okay. Let's keep it going. Rainbows or cloudy skies?
Rainbows for sure.
Love it. Surfing or swimming?
What was the first option?
Surfing.
Oh, surfing.
Surfing.
Yeah, I do all of the boards except for surfing because your boy is afraid of sharks. So whatever the not surfing option was, that one.
Swimming.
Yep.
All right. I mean, swimming in the ocean could also land you in,
That wasn't an
worse.
option. Swimming, I could swim in a pool. I could swim in a lake. There's no sharks in the lake. They're not gonna. I can't surf in any of these other places. So
Gigi swam with sharks last week. I don't even know what that was about. Absolutely insane stuff. All right, next question: road trip or air travel?
I love road trips. Road trip all the way.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Hey, we should. I don't. Never mind. Spring or fall?
Well, my birthday's in April. I'm a big spring guy. Yeah, let's go that.
Love that. Love that. Okay, last question. Flowers or plants?
I mean, it's kind of the same thing, but I'll just say flowers. Flowers are beautiful. Let's do that.
Love it. I love it. I love it. All right. Great space. Thank you guys so much.
To pay attention to the stream. By the way, Visionary, I have to say I did not go swimming with sharks last week. That was a few years ago. I just needed content to post, so I brought up the sharks. Also, I actually went swimming. I don't know about you guys. I love the full moon. I went swimming at night when there was the full moon, there's a manifest. I see Fanso nodding his head. I don't know if he's writing or if he actually does that. But then my friend was like, hey, you actually know that there could be sharks, especially in Miami where you're at, because I was really deep and it's nighttime and it just ruined the vibe. But if you are
that's why I used a quote from my favorite movie, Heat, which is you get killed walking your dog. So for anyone that tells you that shit, but if a shark is gonna get me, a shark's gonna get me, and that's the way I go. That's the way I go. I'm all about some nighttime swimming. So yeah, I'm for you. Nope. Screw the sharks.
Nope. Mm-mm.
Okay, well, for anyone watching the stream, it actually smells really good. It's supposed to be zucchini crusted. The problem was that I added the egg to the panko as well. So, ta-da! I promise I cook way better than this. I did some lemon wurzel the other day, but sadly, this is what my zucchini looks like. It smells really good.
Parchment paper. Next time, use parchment paper. That's the shit. Everything will come out perfect.
It's not about parchment paper. It's about this. It's like clumps. Come on. Okay. Since a few of you made it till the end, and by a few, I mean 68, I think we should release what is our top secret tool that we did not mention here. So I'm going to give mine now because I really appreciate everyone who's here, who stayed, who retweeted, who commented. And one of my favorite AI tools that I did not mention that I've been using for so many different things, even for fitness, for food, is called Flow GPT. FlowGPT.com, and you can find prompts for everything in the world, literally everything. And then my life hack with FlowGPT is that it shows you what is the prompt they use. So let's say you have GPT-4 on your OpenAI, then you can take that prompt, change it up a little bit to what you need it to be, and boom, FlowGPT all the way. Fanso, I'm sure you have one you haven't shared.
I do. I've kind of been addicted to it lately. It's called Runway ML. Runway ML. You can turn any image or any prompt into a 4-second video for free right now. I think you get 100 seconds per month for free. But I've been creating images in Midjourney and then dragging them into Runway, and it does some really cool things. So runwayml.com. And it's another one of those, you can do text-to-based images, but the amount of things, text to video, image to video, you're seeing a lot of them kind of floating around I know Claire's using, a bunch of them are using them right now, but it's a really cool, fun, creative one. And even getting more creative using if you can use multiple videos, I'm sure Chris could hammer this out pretty neatly. You can use 4 videos, put them in a CapCut, and kind of tee them up. And I will tell you, CapCut just had an update. I know, Gigi, you mentioned CapCut. Their update is so slick. It'll make sure that your center frame, and it'll do all of your cuts in the tone, a voice that you want to share. So they have a couple of default features in CapCut that's pretty cool. But yeah, runwayml.com. That's my secret one.
Chris, hit us with the alpha. I see you thinking.
I mean, it sucks because I'm going to tell you what works best to get ready for using AI, and that's StreamYard. Like, I honestly love using the software we're on right now because I can click one button. It's going to capture Gigi's video in full res 1080p and her audio tracks separate from mine, separate from Fanzo's. It's going to export all of that in a zip file and actually make a work file for Premiere, for Final Cut Pro, or DaVinci Resolve, so that when I open that file, with the click of opening that file, all of those assets are on screen, ready to plug in with AI editing software. And so I just got to give a big fat shout out to StreamYard for making that so simple to take an hour and 46-minute conversation, give it a couple clicks. I'm already ready to start editing or use my AI tool. So yeah, it's kind of cheating, but that's my answer.
That's some real alpha. Visionary, do you have one that you want to share with us?
I do actually, but it's more food related. So I use this page called Eat This Much, and it tells you based on what you want to eat, whether you have any dietary requirements, you're vegan, vegetarian, whatever. You can click on that, and then it generates all your meals for the day with your macros and all the details, even the recipe in there, and you can regenerate single meals if you don't like them. But it's really, really cool. It's helped me a lot with like meal prepping and stuff. So that's mine. That's my little secret tool that has nothing to do with career and more to do with what I put in my body.
I love that because healthy body, healthy mind. I did get some DMs about the merch. It's Pudgy Penguins. Really cute hoodie. I also have the little pants. So, you can't see it. It's really cute though. So definitely check out the eGlue company for the merch. Definitely non-sponsored, but here you can see it here now. If you are on the stream, it's so cute. I do keep it like so cold in my place that I wear just hoodies and sweats because I'm so used to working in hoodies and sweat. Like even when I used to go to the office, that was my outfit. That's one of the pros of being an engineer. But I do want to give some shout outs. So thank you so much for everyone who's here. If you learned a new tool, if you picked up a new framework, I want to hear it. Tweet about it, tag us, tell us what is your favorite tool. There's so many tools, and NFT Gods Alpha on how to like export your tweets, use ChatGPT. I'm going to bother him because I really need the breakdown on how to use that. Definitely want to shout out Tropic, Washta, Chris is here with me, Fanzo Visionary, Leslie, Dolce Boy, Laura, Miami Ape, we need to meet up, Pluto, Ray, Soda Honest, Emily, Jason. Oh my God, there's so many of our friends here. Leo, it's so good to see you back on Twitter. Eastben, Boomfa, I love that little Pudgy in there. So many of our friends that keep showing up. So thank you so much for being here with us. Big changes coming. I can't wait to share. If you one who loves learning from AI and blockchain, you're gonna love what we're doing next. Definitely DM me, put your notifications on. There's a wait list that is gonna come out very soon. If you are a CTW holder, you don't have to sign up for the wait list. I don't know, there's so much alpha. Also, tomorrow.
Wait, how can someone sit through this whole space, all this great content you put out, and not be a CTW holder? I'm just gonna put that out there. In this world of supporting creators, we talk about supporting artists, we talk about supporting devs. Go support great teams that are putting on great content where you learn shit. You don't have to pay anything to be in here. The floor in CTW is low enough that you can jump in here, and you should be holding one anyhow. Great community. So that's Gigi won't plug it. I'll plug it. Big fan of everything CTW's done since the beginning, and can't wait for the beginning.
Where do I pick one up?
Love you, fan. So
they said, where do you pick one up, Gigi?
I saw there's big changes. Definitely, if you pick one up, come to our Fridays huddle. We do our huddles in our Discord core community. Find out what's happening. It's gonna be epic. That's all I'm gonna say. And fans, and I lost my train of thought, but definitely follow Fanso, follow Chris. Guys, do you have anything you want to add before we wrap up? You've given so much alpha, so thank you so much.
I'll just throw in press the damn button. I think lots of tools, lots of things, but if you're not willing to test things out and try, this space was pretty much a waste. Like, you have to be curious. Right now is like, there's no better time for like experimenting with different things. Like, a lot of these tools that we recommended are just because we were curious and we were willing to share. So I think that would be my advice. Like, don't look at all these notes and get overwhelmed. Pick one tool, test it out, give it a try. I think you'd be amazed. Thanks for having me.
100%. Chris?
Yeah, just to build on that, I would say don't ever gatekeep. If you know something and you can teach somebody else, do that. Help them. They're gonna remember that it was you that taught them that thing. And reciprocity is beautiful, but gatekeeping is silly, because if I know how to do anything you know how to do, I'm telling everybody. So somebody's gonna spoil the secret, and if you're trying to hold on to it, you're gonna lose. So learn stuff, teach other people that stuff, and just keep on being hungry for more knowledge. So that's what I got.
100%. Also, I remember. So tomorrow for our CTW holders, trading class with Visionary in our Discord. And then Friday we have our community huddle.
Yo, I'm gonna add in here that just for those of you who don't know, we have 100% winnings rate on our trading classes. Okay, so don't fade my trading classes, for real.
100%, and it's been 5 weeks, I think. So definitely, it's happening, people. It's happening. And now, damn, I wish Pluto was up here, because Pluto always has the best recommendations for songs to end with. But I know there's one he always likes. Like, I love listening to my audience. If you're my friend, you show up, you want to listen to a song, I'm gonna play it for you. So I know there's one that he always likes. I think he hasn't missed a single space in, like, I don't even know when was the last time he missed a space. So Pluto, I'm gonna play your favorite girl. And thank you so much for everyone. We do this every Wednesday. Next Wednesday is gonna be another banger. And come in. I mean, definitely put your notifications on. I really want you to know about what we've been doing and the rebrand, what's happening. How can you learn about AI and blockchain in an easier way? I'm going to play a song to wrap up the space. But if you ever want to connect, just DM me, DM Visionary. I'm sure like we're all more than open to building with the 5 people that are left here in Web3. But without further ado, thank you so much, everyone. Stay for the vibes if you want to listen to a little outro song. Stop playing with them, Riot.